So there appears to be a slim chance, a slither, that we could still sign Jean-Clair Todibo. Now, the reason is because Juventus are skint. Okay, not ideal. The player wants to go there. The fact that the club he wants to go to are skint is not great, but it does offer a little window of opportunity. As far as we were concerned yesterday, the deal was done. It was dead. West Ham had bid, what was it, £27 million on an option, initial loan with an option obligation to buy for £27 million. Nice had accepted it, but the player had said no. And that was that, pretty much. What we found out sort of 24 hours later is that apparently Juventus are a little bit nervous that he might sign for West Ham. So there's a little chink in the armour, number one. Juve cannot buy him, basically, because they need to sell players. Have been trying to flog us, Matthias Sole, all transfer window, in a bid to boost their own transfer fund, as we mentioned yesterday. But it's not happened. They don't have the necessary cash. I'll tell you what's weird, actually. Bearing in mind, West Ham were only really looking to go for a loan deal. There would have been a big amount of money up front, as I understand it, and that would have been subtracted from the obligation to buy the 27 million. But I'll tell you what is quite telling. It shows the wealth of Premier League clubs. Even a giant like Juventus, and if they're still owned by Fiat, are they still owned by Fiat? Not sure, but possibly not, I'm guessing. But a giant like Juventus can't afford to match what West Ham are offering, even though it's only an initial sort of loan deal, really. So I thought that was quite telling. Anyway, they've been trying to offload players left, right and centre to West Ham and anybody else who fancies buying anyone. But they can't seem to get near West Ham's deal. So at the point of recording this, at least, West Ham are the only show in town. The other little chink in the armour is that it's also been revealed, I don't know how much truth there is in this stuff. Oh, we must get the poppycockometer out again. We'll be doing that tomorrow. Don't worry about that. Maybe if we've got time today, we might do. Todibo, Jean-Clair, has met with Julen Lopetegui and Tim Steidten. Well, that's pretty good, right? Now, apparently, so the story goes, he's willing to meet them again. This doesn't sound like a player that's made up his mind. This sounds like a man that could be persuaded. And if he can be persuaded, I know the absolute man for the job. It's Mr. Smooth Operator. It's Julen Lopetegui himself. This geezer he's the schmoozer extraordinaire. He's schmoozing for a bruising, this guy. Do you remember when, I was just about to say, I hate it when I say, do you remember, then I actually forget. It was David Moyes. We wanted to sign a player, centre-back, played for Chelsea. Tomori. That's Tomori. Him. Ended up playing for AC Milan, didn't they? We were going to sign him. We had a deal agreed with Chelsea, and all he wanted was one phone call with David Moyes. Phoned up David Moyes. Mr. Moyes, hello. Just wants you to somehow reassure me that I'm going to get some game time at West Ham. Well, near me doing that. And he put the phone down. It went something along those lines, basically. It didn't happen. I'd have lied. I'd have just said, you know what, Tomori, of course, mate, you're the main man. We're going to build the team around you. I'd have schmoozed him. I'd have said, I've been watching all your videos, mate. It's been brilliant. Even your TikTok stuff. No, honestly, I would have done. I would have schmoozed. I would have said, but Moyes, he couldn't do that. He couldn't do the schmooze. He wasn't a schmooze operator. No. But Lopetegui can do it. And I'll tell you how I know, not because I've met the man, but all the videos I've been watching about Lopetegui. Okay, so I don't know what the first one was. Luis Guilherme. He said that Lopetegui had been to see him when he first came over for his medical, first came over to the UK. Lopetegui went to his hotel, met him in the hotel. We've heard this. We've heard Kilman talk all about him, what a motivator he is, what a man manager he is. You can see it if you watch the videos. He's really, really good. He's good with the players. He's great with the staff. He's not just turning it on at West Ham, he was turning it on at Wolves, up until the point where he wasn't turning it on, of course. If you go and look at the videos where Wolves announced him, look at him with some of the players, look at him with Adama Traore, look at him with Ruben Neves, look at him with a lot of these players there. He's a schmoozer, he really is. And well, the way that him and Tim Steidten spoke in their little press conference thingamajiggy that they did, and that was... Wasn't it Steidten who... It was either Steidten or Lopetegui told the story how Lopetegui had been phoning up. He'd been phoning up Lucas Paquetá, trying to make him feel welcome. Talking about he's got a West Ham family. He said he's not only got a family in Brazil, he's got a West Ham family. This is top level flanneling. This is a charm offensive. That's what it is. It's a charm offensive. They're a double act. They are. Tim Steidten even went over to Brazil and went to the family home of Lucas Paquetá. So I'm seeing a chink of opportunity here. I am. I'm thinking if anyone can get a meeting with Todibo and schmooze him and persuade him, Lopetegui is the man for the job. He speaks a million languages. Well, probably speaks French, doesn't he? Wouldn't put it past him. So I've not given up. I've not given up on the transfer. No, not at all. Maybe it's wishful thinking. I don't even know what... Look, I've got to... Let me be perfectly honest here. You know, like sometimes you get linked to a player and you think, oh, I really want him, but you haven't really seen him play that much. Yeah, there's a little bit of that going on, truth be known. I don't know loads about him, but I know enough. I've done enough research to know. I mean, he came through at Toulouse. I think it was just shortly after Issa Diop came through at Toulouse. He was meant to be the next big thing. Got a big sign-in, got a big transfer, didn't quite work out. In fact, you could actually almost... The story almost mirrors that of Lucas Paquetá, funny enough, Lucas Paquetá was very much the next big thing in Brazil. Got the big move to Europe, didn't he? Went to AC Milan, didn't work out. He had to go and sort of resurrect his career at Olympique Lyonnais. There's something very similar has happened to Todibo here, where, you know, everyone thought he was going to be the top central defender in Europe. Of course, it didn't quite happen. Didn't turn out like that, did it? So, you know, and then he got the move back, went to Nice, and he's rebuilt his career, got a couple of caps for France, was considered to be unlucky not to get in the France squad. I mean, they've got a great squad, haven't they? So, there's a bit of that. Have I seen that much? Have I seen a lot of him? No, I haven't, truth be known. But I do sort of want him. But it's not just that I want. I like the intent from the club. And if the club have decided, be it Lopetegui or Steidten, have decided that this is the guy to partner Max Kilman, then I'm all for it. And it's not a case of, you know, a thing like in Tim we trust. No, not so much just that, but a trusting of the process. And I quite appreciate actually that that what's happened at West Ham is that the club have identified that it was such a weak spot in terms of our defence last season. They're going to go and strengthen that. That's good. I've got to just say this as well. I'm a little bit... I should have let it go. I should let it go. I really should. But I can't... It has annoyed me. And at least I have consistency of annoyance, if you've been watching the channel for a while. I was really annoyed with the lack of ambition from us last season in terms of the transfer window. I thought there was an opportunity there. I'm talking about January, to push on and qualify for Europe again next season. I felt we almost accepted it. We let it slip through our fingers. And I also felt there was a lack of ambition from David Moyes in terms of the teams he was putting out, how there was clearly flaws with the team and he didn't fix them. And it was almost like it was okay for it to sort of, the team to wither on the vine and for us not to qualify for Europe again. It was there. It was within touching distance. It wouldn't have taken much. You can pinpoint some very, very easy fixtures where we didn't pick up the points and we should have done. There was very easy fixes to be done in the transfer window. But, you know, Moisey decided to go with a weak squad, a very, very thin squad. We shipped out, you know, 3 or 4 players, didn't we, in the January transfer window. Lacked depth. We knew we had a European campaign. It was a really weird thing. Really weird thing to go through, decide to go through the end of the season with the second oldest squad in the Premier League and the smallest squad in the Premier League, even though we had like quarterfinals of the in Europe and the Europa Cup, Europos Cuppos, that's what we call it around these parts. Thank you very much. Not the Europa League, the Europos Cuppos. It was a weird thing to do, and I thought it was an opportunity missed, and we looked absolutely knackered when we played our league games. And it just goes to show now, because I think this is the only one we know about. Todibo is the only one we know about because he's a player who has openly said, oh, I want to play European football. I know it's Champions League, but he wants to play European football. You think if we had European football, we could turn around and say, all right, you know what, Jean-Clair, you may not be able to have Champions League football. We've got some European football to offer you, and we're pretty good at it. And there's not even that. Opportunity missed, and that's the one we know about. I wonder how many other players we've just not been able to sign, because that maybe Alex Garcia, probably not a great example, because what are you going to do? You're going to sign for West Ham, or you're going to sign for Bayer Leverkusen, which it makes it funny actually when you consider that we are actually always asking him to come to East London, to come to Stratford rather than Turin. I don't know. That's gonna be difficult for him. Look, the truth of the matter is there are some bloody lovely places for these footballers to live in London. So and you know, it's a wonderful, wonderful big city, and there's a lot of, just don't drive a car, basically. I think he can be schmoozed. I really do. I think he can be schmoozed. I think he can be persuaded. And if anyone's going to do the schmoozing, if anyone's going to be the schmooze operator, then it's going to be Julen Lopetegui. Before I go, Irish JP, you left a comment, funny enough, in the comment section yesterday, asking if I was going to do the Luis podcast. Sorry, mate, I can only apologise. I must have said something at some point. I've completely forgotten. You're going to have to remind me in the comments, mate. What is it? What did I say I would do? What is the Luis podcast? Is it a Luis Guilherme thing? I don't know. I can't remember. Did I say I was going to do a video about something or other? You're going to have to remind me. Please be more specific with me, mate. I'll read the comments tomorrow. Get back to me, and then I'll have a look at it, and we'll do whatever video or podcast it was that you wanted to do, my friend. Right, anyway, hopefully by the time I upload this, Todibo, Jean-Clair will be completely and utterly schmoozed, and I will catch up with you tomorrow.